Hi, I'm Owen Fitzpatrick, author of the book Charismatic Edge and creator of the online Charisma Training Academy. And in this particular video, I want to teach you what you need to know in order to be able to stress yourself out. A lot of things on the internet will be showing videos and whatnot, will be showing you how to relax, how to handle things, how to deal effectively. There's some great people out there, some great advice out there. But nobody really tells you how to stress yourself out if you want to do that. So what I want to do is share with you what do you need to know in order to be really ridiculously stressed. Step one, focus on the worst case scenario, as in what's the worst possible thing that can happen. And then once you focus on it, imagine it happening. And not from a point of view of, oh, imagine it happening, isn't it? It's not that bad at all. Imagine it is that bad in all. Imagine it's like the worst thing that could ever happen. That's why they call it the worst case scenario, not the like kind of bad scenario, the worst case scenario. Imagine everything is a disaster and it's a failure, and imagine it ruins your life. So it doesn't just affect this, whatever this incident is, whatever you're stressed about. Imagine it doesn't just affect that, imagine it ruins your entire life. Imagine your existence on this planet is rendered pointless as a result of this thing going wrong. And by really imagining that vividly, by stepping into it, by immersing yourself with the miserabilization of this experience and how everything is just a disaster, it's sure to cause a lot of stress. What you want to do is you want to get that hormone of cortisol. You want to get that swimming through your system. It's a hormone. It's released whenever you're stressed. You want to get cortisol and you want to let it dance through your body. You want cortisol on your head, down to your toes. You want to start feeling your feet are stressed. You want your arse to be stressed. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm tense in my neck and my shoulders. You want to be able to expand it by vividly imagining everything going wrong. That will allow you to feel stressed, not just in your shoulders and your throat or your neck or whatever. It'll let you soothe the cortisol and not really soothe, that's the wrong word, but it will allow the extension of this cortisol right the way through your body. So you literally feel so like tight and that it's killing you. It really makes you feel pretty awful. So again, imagine the worst case scenario and then spread the cortisol. Let it just stress every part of you out. The second thing is to be able to make sure that you master your internal dialogue. Now, people will tell you you need to speak in a certain way to yourself. The truth is that you should be speaking, if you want to stress yourself out, you should be speaking with a really annoying, anxious tone of voice. Everything that's happening, you should be talking to yourself going, well, I'm not sure about this. It should be uncertain, it should be stressy, it should be high-pitched. And also, you should be asking the question, what if? And like this goes wrong type thing. So it's, what if this doesn't work out? What if I get into the elevator and I start to panic? What if I make a fool of myself on stage? What if I don't get any sales? What if my business closes? What if everything? What if is a great question when you ask it right. And what you do is you go, what if? And that allows you, connects back to the first point, so it's kind of like an advanced thing. You connect back to the worst case scenario. So the what if question will get you to continuously focus on what will scare you, which again in turn will help the whole cortisol stuff. So again, ask questions of what if, and when you ask them, make sure you're using a very stressed tone of voice. So let me demonstrate. So now I'm talking in a really stressful way, and everything should be like, you see this facial expression, a little bit like you're constipated? That facial expression is the same facial expression that is more conducive to you using this kind of tone of voice. So even though I'm not necessarily talking about anything that's stressful at the moment, the fact that I'm using this tone of voice and this facial expression, it kind of makes you feel a little bit stressed, doesn't it? And if you do that to yourself, you're going to find yourself feeling really, really, really negative a lot more, and therefore stressed. And lastly, a great piece of advice is to make sure all of the language you use is over the top. Never just say, oh, it's a bad day. It's a disastrous day. Use the word disastrous. It's got a juice in it. It's not like bad, it's disastrous. The more you use the vocabulary of, over the top, emotionalized disgust, horrendous, disaster, worst day of my life, this is impossible, this is so terrible. when you use those kind of words, it will in turn let you feel worse about it. Those words have a wonderful ability they have a wonderful toxic ability to be able to poison your internal system by letting you feel the whole inner factor. If you're a little bit annoyed, say, I'm enraged. That's a really powerful word that will let you to start to build up and crank up the cortisol and start to minimize the dopamine and serotonin and let you feel absolutely disastrous. Now, people will tell you that you need to start to focus on being able to handle any worst case scenario that comes along. And they will say, focus on the best case scenario. Expect the best to happen. They will say, imagine that no matter what happens, you can deal with it and you're able to deal with it, and speak to yourself in a calm and relaxed way. Start to talk to yourself in a refreshingly comfortable way. Start to ask yourself the question of, what if I achieve this? What if everything goes well? How can I deal with this effectively? How can I solve this problem? Asking useful questions like that. They will tell you to be able to make sure that the language you use is, this is a challenge rather than a problem, and I don't feel as good as I could, rather than saying I'm enraged or whatever. They'll say, use language in a more intelligent way. And yes, if you do that, you'll be a lot more relaxed. You'll be able to handle things a lot more effectively, but it's not going to help you to stress yourself out. So make sure, once again, use over-the-top language so that it really makes you enraged. Make sure that when you do speak to yourself, speak in a really stressed way all the time, and make sure that you'll focus on the worst-case scenario and spin that wonderful feeling of cortisol through your body so the entire part of you, from the top of your head to the tips of your ears, are like the whole time. By doing so, you will definitely have achieved the wonderful success of being stressed out. I really hope that this helps stress you out. I hope you're already stressed out by watching the video. For now, I'm Owen Fitzpatrick. Thank you for watching.